The D, man.
Yeah, shout out my nigga from D's Media, you feel me?
Yo, it's your boy D's Media back again with another video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel on the road to 100K. Today we're gonna talk about a female from Rolling 60s out of LA. Pretty much, man, you know, she went on live and she pretty much cleared it up, you know, about this Big U and Nipsey Hussel situation. She pretty much was saying that from the bottom of her heart, she felt like it was a setup and something went right. You know, she said that, you know, from her being around Nip and all of them, you know, even Black Sam said the same thing. You know, they had a rule when Nip pulled up to the marathon that it was mandatory that people escort Nip into the building. You got to think it's on Crenshaw and Slauson, one of the worst neighborhoods probably in that area. You know what I'm saying? So to think that you got Nipsey Hussle pulling up in the Maybach with all this money and jewelry on and nobody was on point that day. You know, they let Eric Holder walk up to this guy 2-3 times. You know, they say Cowboy. She said Cowboy was hanging, was hiding behind the register. They said it was a couple people on scenes that had their straps on them but didn't do nothing. So you know, when you put your shoes into when you take when you put your feet into Black Sam's shoes. Now I understand why he closed down the Marathon store. Now I understand why ever since Nip passed, you know, they don't talk about the Rolling 60s. They don't let the Rolling 60s use Nip for branding, for nothing. It's like after Nip passed, Black Sam just like completely severed ties with the 60s, you know, because I got to keep it a buck with y'all. Something don't sound right. If Loose Cannon say that he talked to Big U and Big U said, oh, this happened to Nip. And then when he called Nip, Nip was still alive. And then 30, 40 minutes later, Nip passed away. Nobody going to sit here and say that Big U played a part in it. But what they saying is you knew something was about to happen and you didn't even warn Nip. And Nip's supposed to be your little brother and stuff. But, you know, a lot of people keep wanting to bring up this contract that, you know, Nip and Big U had together. You know, to sign somebody for 10 years, that is a little skeptical. You know, you would think a management deal usually run between like 2 years or something like that. But to sign somebody to a 10-year management deal, you know, that is a little bit skeptical off of the rip. You know, and it's also rumored that, you know, he LLC the Crenshaw brand. If anybody remember when Nip was alive, he was pushing the Crenshaw merchandise. He was pushing it real heavy. It's apparently that Big U went behind his back and LLC'd it. They even said at the Nip pass, you know, Big U is still selling Crenshaw shirts. They say he even got a shop in the 60s hood where he's still selling book bags with Crenshaw hats on it, everything. And we all know Nip made that brand popular, that Crenshaw brand. Of course, we ain't talking about the street Crenshaw. We talking about just the clothing brand Crenshaw. I feel like Nip put that on the forefront. And if it wasn't for Nip, a lot of people wouldn't have known what that brand was, you know. But pretty much, man, it's a lot of speculations that, you know, Big U knew something that was about to happen to Nip. Black Sam, I feel like he said it without saying it on his Big Boy interview. One thing you got to remember is Black Sam can't just come out and say, oh, he did this to Nip, and he did that, because you got to think they still in the streets now. But the hints and the clues that he gave on the Big Boy show, he told y'all. He said the day before Nip passed away, he was telling them, like, look, bro, like, stop pulling up to the marathon shop by yourself. Or when you pull up to the hood, call us. You know what I'm saying? Black Sam was telling him, like, yo, bro, you need to move the store, to move the location. But he said Nip wasn't really hearing it.
I don't know if Big U sent but when that shit with Nipsey first popped off, when it first happened, everybody in LA thought Big U sent shit. We all thought that. We all did. We thought it was Big U, and then we thought, people was like, no, it wasn't Big U, da da. And then it was like, oh yeah, it was the government. Like, come on now, that's what the world was saying, the government on some weird shit. But all of LA, yeah, we all thought Big U did it. We already felt like it. Because like Black Sam said, I didn't even watch that interview. I honestly didn't. I saw a couple of clips or whatever. But living in LA, I remember when Big U and Nip got into it because Nip didn't want to be under his label no more. Because Big U was trying to, like, Big U had bought the Crenshaw the Crenshaw brand and shit like that. And, yeah, like, basically trying to, like, extort Nip and had him in a fucked up ass deal. So when Nip finally got out of that deal, you know what I'm saying, he went about his way or whatever, and Big U didn't like that. And so they had, like, animosity or whatever. This is just me living in LA, I know this. And then I remember when Nip started with YG, and he had brought YG to the 60s. And when he brought YG to the 60s, I remember Big U was trying to pop shit about it, like how you bringing this whoop-de-whoop to the hood, this and that. And Nip peeled out his shirt, and he was like, nah, get down for cuz whoop whoop. And Nip had to run phase to have YG in the 6-0s, but he did that. But Big U was trying to give him a hard time because Big U was mad that he wasn't, like, trying to give him no money, you know? He didn't want to be under that deal no more. So that's what that was. So I remember that. So then when Nip died, because I remember Nip didn't want nothing to do with Big U. So when he got killed or whatever, all of LA was like, Big U did that. Big U did that. Because who would have known, like, who would have known, like, people, you had to be a part of the 6-0s. You had to be in his circle to know. Everybody knew, like, Nip, if you saw that Maybach on Slauson, that Nip was there. Everybody knew that. We always knew that. Frontlining that, dying over that is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, so everybody knew that when his Maybach is on Crenshaw, that Nip is there or whatever. But like Black Sam said, I seen that clip when he was like, usually be having burners and stuff. That's what, when you live in LA, we all know that it's like, it's always burners, and it's like in a spot. That was a spot. So it's always burners up in there, some protection, and it's Nipsey, bro. So you'd be stupid. All of LA kept saying, like, bro, why nobody had no burners? Why nobody was shooting back? Why nobody was doing nothing? Like, nobody shot back. Nobody did nothing. And that is crazy to have no burners, right? So when we looked at that, all of LA was just like, nah, that was an inside job. Because there's no way in hell you got Nip in the parking lot on Slauson and Crenshaw, and there's no burners, like, at all. So it was like, so did Big U pay all the niggas in the spot not to have the burners? I mean, you know, to be lacking, and it was like, did also on top of sending because like how he came the 2 times, he came the first time, he scoped out the scenery. We saw all of that, right? That was very evident, and then. And then he come back in a red shirt to shoot Nipsey. But it's like usually in LA, like in a spot like that, Nipsey be on point looking at everything. So after the first time he came, they should have recognized him. And then seeing him coming back, they should have been like, oh, this is the second time. That's like when a car going around your block. You're like, this car just went around the block like twice. And when it come again, that's the same car. You be on that type of stuff. So it's like, I feel like that's why Black Sam don't with none of them, because he feel like them niggas either f***ed up or they was in on it. So I get it. I totally get it. But is somebody gonna do something about it? Probably not. Because they've been talking about that for a long time inside of LA. Y'all just getting a whiff of how Black Sam feel, but he been on who felt like that. That's why he don't f*** with the 6-0s. Ain't been f*** with the 6-0s. That's why he don't sign off on nothing. Nobody trying to use his brother's shit. None of that. He gonna say that.